If I'm not mistaken, I've got to say more than a few words. I've got to say quite a few words, but I'll try to make them as interesting as possible. What is it? And before I start my talk, I'd like to also put a little rider on what Dave has been telling you. Yes, there will be makeup and dance and show reels and portfolios and action classes, but the core of what you will be learning at the Stardust Academy is simply acting. So, what is it that actors do? What is an actor and what is it that actors do? One possible answer is that actors are liars and actors pretend. All of us, I don't think anyone's a saint out here. And even then, before you become a saint, you're a human being. So all of us out here have lied at some point or the other in our lives. All of us have pretended at some time or the other in our lives. And I'm sure you've noticed that sometimes your lies get caught out and sometimes people believe your lies. I'm sure that you have also noticed that when you lie successfully, you at least half believe the lie yourself. Right? It is when you almost believe what you're saying that the opposite person starts believing it too. And when you just don't believe what you're saying, your chances of getting away with it are slim. Right? So, I said the word lie and the word pretend for dramatic effect. But what is it that an actor basically uses? An actor is the person who responds to imaginary things or imaginary stimuli, right? Your circumstances are not really your circumstances. Your backstory is not really your backstory. The person in front of you is not really your lover or your father or your mother or your brother or your friend or your enemy. It's make-believe. It's imagination. Now, everyone imagines. No one needs to be taught how to imagine. We all imagine. We all dream. We all daydream. So, no one needs to be taught how to imagine. What actors need to do is harness that imagination. Make it specific for the use of an actor. And how do you harness your imagination? I don't need to teach you how to dream, but I need to teach you how to use those daydreams, how to use that imagination, how to pretend. Now, two categories of people apart from actors. Of course, criminals, con men are lying all the time. But we all also, just as, slightly off the track, when do all of us have the capacity of Olympic athletes? When we are babies. Babies have the same energy levels and physical capacities as Olympic athletes. If you don't believe me, try to lie down on a bed and move your arms and legs like a baby does for half an hour and see what happens to you. I assure you, you'll be exhausted. Similarly, when all of us are children, our imaginations are very alive. We're daydreaming all the time. we fall into an imaginary world very quickly. And that is why that childlike quality is what actors need to relearn. Actors can be quite kiddish, quite immature at many times. This kiddishness, this immaturity is a very useful thing for an actor, because it allows the actor to believe in something that is imaginary. Now, I might have to believe that one of you is my son. How do I do that? I have to imagine it. I have to imagine it to the degree where I start believing in it. I imagine it to the degree where my body and my emotions start responding that way to that person. I feel to that person as I do to a child. And so, I have to use my imagination to the point where I start believing in the whole story, the relationship, what's gone on before, and so on and so forth. But we are again talking. ये भी एक्टर की बीमारी होती है, बात करना बहुत अच्छा लगता है, एक्टर्स को बात सुनाते जाओ वो घंटों तक सुनते रहते हैं, कुछ करने को बोलो तब तकलीफ होती है. But one of the meanings of act is to do. So, and it will also help make what I am saying a little clearer. It will also give you a little idea of the way you would be taught if you were going to join the Stardust Academy. I'd like to ask someone to come here and do something. It's not a performance. It's not a performance. It is, as Nawazuddin was saying, it is a little bit about discovering yourself, which is again very important for an actor, to discover yourself. It's something which everyone would do just casually, not a performance. You're not going to be judged on it. It's just someone willing to just step up and be willing to make a little bit of a fool of themselves, maybe. Another very important quality for an actor. If you don't risk making a fool of yourself, you'll never be an actor. So, someone please volunteer. Please, come.
Dr. Student Lavya Rao from TYBA. Thank you for being spontaneous.
Okay, we have Lavya here. Lavya, just sit for a minute while I explain what it is you need to do. Just as when you join school, you already know how to talk, but you started off with A, B, C, D. What you already know is broken down into still smaller things, because with those building blocks, you can go very far. You need to go back a little to go forward a lot more. So, what we start with in the acting class is simply to perform an action with an imaginary object. This object could be anything. It should not be a highly unusual object. Pick on something that you have handled in your life many, many times before. Something that you are very familiar with. It could be applying nail polish. It could be ironing a shirt. It could be brushing your teeth, having a bath, any such thing where you will not use the actual object. You will imagine the object. Also, I'd like to make it clear, this is not a mime class or a mime exercise. I don't want you to mime it out for me. For example, if you are cutting something, I don't want you to go, because no one holds a pair of scissors like this. We hold a pair of scissors like that. So I want you to imagine you're holding that pair of scissors, if that's what you're doing, and imagine how those scissors feel and how you would cut something with those scissors. What is it that you're cutting with those scissors? And so on. So there's no time limit to it. There is no story to it right now, at least. It's simply an action with an imaginary object, an action and an object that you personally are very familiar with. So, no need to think about it too much. Just anything you are very familiar with. If you could just, so everyone can observe you, just step out to the center and perform an action with an imaginary object. Right? No, don't tell us what it is. Just do it. Whatever it is. Yeah, the imaginary object may be need not necessarily be inanimate. It could be an animate object or being also. Thank you, Lavin. Thank you very much. Now, you will please excuse me because I'm looking at you as a teacher would look at you. And so, कहते हैं ना, कबीर का दुआ है कि गुरु अंतर हाथ सहार दे बाहर बाहे चोट. तो पहले क्रिटिसिज्म से ही शुरू करूंगा. Now, how many of you really got the feeling that she was holding a cat? Okay, not the majority. The reason for that is you were not imagining the cat so well, though you know that cat very well. You know that cat extremely well, I'm sure. You said it's one of your pets at home. You're seeing it every day, you're handling that cat every day. But we need to go a little further. When we are kids, it's enough to say, tho, and imagine that you're shooting someone dead. But we need to go a little further than that. Okay. And so, what you need to do is imagine things like the weight of that cat, the size of that cat, the feel of its fur. Now, for example, when you were holding it, one of your hands was like this. What was in your hand? It wasn't the cat, because the cat couldn't fit if your hand was in this position, no cat could fit in it, very simply. Even if it was a very small cat, at least it would be that much, right? Maybe bigger. And could you imagine the warmth of its body, the softness of its fur, the beating of its heart? If it was happy with you, the vibration of its purring, the smell of the cat, its smell, its feel. When you said, oh, stop scratching, why did you need to say it? We need to say these things to make up for a shortage of imagination. if Lavya had concentrated, now you need to concentrate really hard when you imagine as an actor, your concentration has to be very deep. If Lavya had really concentrated on that feeling of the claws going into her shoulder, her body would have reacted and there would be no need for Lavya to say, ouch, 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 you're scratching me. Lavya needed to say, ouch, 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 you're scratching me, because she wasn't believing it. She was trying to stimulate her belief and trying to stimulate everyone who was watching their belief. So when you start learning, we start with something very simple like this, and then we add layers to it. First question, why are you doing what you are doing? Why are you grooming the cat? Where are you doing it? Start imagining that, because it makes a difference where you're doing it. Are you doing it all alone in the privacy of your bedroom? Have you taken your cat to a friend's house? Are you doing it there? Has some guest come to your house and maybe it's a boy you want to impress, a boy who also likes animals and you want to show him how fond you are of animals? In each case, the way you do it changes a little bit, right? If you're doing it just with no one watching, you'll do it differently. If you're doing it with your kid brother watching, you don't give a shit about what your kid brother thinks, so you can ignore him entirely. You're doing it to impress the boy, it's different. You're doing it to impress an older person, a grandmother or a grandfather, that you're a very gentle person and you love animals and you're very loving, you want to get into their good books, then you'll probably do it differently. And so on and so forth. So why are you doing something? Where are you doing it? When are you doing it? At what time?